Hello, peeps. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to me from. Concerning the 30 days rant challenge, I'm looking at this angle of it. I don't know, for some reason, I think I have a problem with females hawking. I have a problem with that. I'm not a saint, I'm a badass girl, but I see prostitution as accepting defeat. That's what I see it as. Now, on this rant challenge, I've been expecting some girls who are streetwise and street whores to really come out and tell the government something nice that they ought to hear about. Probably expressing themselves in the most honorable or disgusting way that made them really toe the line to which they find either pleasurable or disgusting. Here is the thing. We know that, yes, prostitution has come to stay ever since life itself. But another thing is this. Let's know the reason for some kind of sleeping around. Are some sleeping around because they are sex starved? Or are some sleeping around because they lack money? Or are some sleeping around because their partners are weak? Or are some really sleeping around because they are starving and really wants to make ends meet so that meat will not end? So these are my questions. For some reason, a lot of women have died in the course of trying to make ends meet through street hawking. And nobody is taking time to say anything about it. In fact, it's become normal. And indeed, we've always blamed the girls who are on the street and hustling for being the cause of their predicaments and their problems. But we haven't really taken time to look at the reasons behind their street hawking and using their bodies as a means of making ends meet. Another thing is, a lot of these girls are graduates. Some of them began this prostitution from the universities. Some began from secondary schools. Are we saying that the predicament is as a result of negligence from our own parents? No. I'm also thinking that our parents have trained us the much that they can, and then we will go forth and be fruitful and multiply and choose the right path in line with what we truly aspire and desire. But half the time, the pairs we meet on the way will either make us or mar us. When it makes us, we will begin to thrive in the right direction. When you meet the right people on the way, it automatically shows you a spearhead of where your arrow is aiming if you were visionary before. But if you were myopic and you meet some pairs who are competitive and you're not one who can control yourself, maybe in trying to acquire what you do not have or what you cannot afford, then you will begin to see yourself towing the line of derailing, especially different from what your parents have originally pre-planned for you. So now your parents will not be there to say, take this way or do this or do that in line with what they've taught you. But now your peers have taken the great seat of your parents. And if you're not careful, you're going to go seriously astray. So, nobody is looking at the reasons why the girls are on the street and trying to hustle using their bodies. This street challenge should seriously encourage the girls who have accepted this defeat of street hawking, using their bodies to make ends meet, so that they can actually express themselves, tell the government what they need to hear, tell the government how hard it's been having graduated from the university and having studied some beautiful courses and ended up on the streets because there aren't jobs for people to hang on to. There aren't good support for people to also hang on to. And then the incentives that other countries give to their youths hardly comes to us as Nigerians. So now they tore this path, and they need to also tell us the reason that they tore the path. They tore this path because it's easier, it's a little not so stressful, even though sometimes it's actually stressful. There are people who ventured in this and realized that this isn't their thing, and then they backed off early enough in life and started looking for their greener pastures somewhere else. But some others who are so weak and have accepted this defeat continued in that line until they either meet the right people who married them off, or who started dating them and brought them off the streets. Yes, some are lucky to have gone off the streets, haven't ventured into the streets. But some aren't so lucky. They are so unlucky that all their lives they've continually been on the streets, and getting out of the streets have really become a serious problem for them. And no matter what it is that you offer them, it's hard for them to really cope, because you can imagine when you use what you have to get exactly what you want. But here is the thing. Have they also ventured? They can also share with us to know. Have they also ventured to use the monies gained through street hawking as females to do exploits? What exploits have a prostitute been able to acquire from prostitution? Yes, we may have some women who have thrived in the venture, but I am yet to see, coming from the southeast area, I am yet to see a girl who ventured in this hawking and ended up just fine. I am yet to see that girl. Maybe we would get to see people who are willing to chip in through this rant challenge, so that we will know how lucrative this street hawking by females is or are. If it is lucrative, what have you been able to achieve or acquire through using what you have to exactly get what you want? Half the time, it's only monies that are used for buying Brazilian hair, Brazilian wig, beautiful dresses, beautiful handbags, beautiful nails, and the rest of it. I haven't seen any, well, maybe there are, but I haven't quite seen any street girl who is full-time into prostitution use the monies she's gained through prostitution to acquire maybe a beautiful house, or acquire luxurious cars, or acquire some kind of strong businesses that will not fold in the space of 5 to 10 years. I haven't quite seen that happen. And some of the girls who have actually made money to even set up themselves haven't ventured into long-term street hawking, eventually back down to really focus on the businesses that they have really opened for themselves. So if someone is really willing to share how she really got engaged in using her body to get what she wants, and what hurdles did she face on the way as she progressed, and what hard time did she have as she also progressed, and what cadre, because it looks like it has cadres. There are some who charge less, there are some who charge so much, There are some who get contracts through phone calls. There are some who also get contacted through pictures. There are some who are strictly on social media and you can call them to come service you through the social media. So let's know the cadre to which one progresses in the course of hawking them their bodies, using their bodies to get exactly what they want. So all this progression will actually help people who want to venture and even help the government to know that they are not doing all right in the aspect of the girl child. Because if we all keep quiet and keep talking about healthcare, this, government that, I think we're not nailing it appropriately. We need to start nailing it appropriately so that the government will know how severe and how demoralized people have really, really gotten to in this country. Coming out from school, not having a sense of where to begin from, not knowing where to start from, and eventually ending up in the wrong hands, becoming club girls, street girls, hustlers. Some are standing on the streets, others are home prostitutes. You can call them, they are home. There are even more whores than those on the streets. I don't know if you know that there are more whores in the home whom you can call, they will come, do what you're paying for, and go home. They are not on the streets. They are not standing on the streets. You can't see them on any road, but they are even worse than those who are standing on the streets. And we keep labeling them and naming them and giving them some baptizing names, like Slay Queen, like there was a time that it was what they call I have a big God, Abby. Yes, I have a big something like that. So there are various names that they've given to themselves, and it looked like an accolade, but really it's not actually an accolade. It's actually a detriment to the girl child for me. So this rant needs to step a bit higher. It needs to really step a bit higher so that the government will understand the pain to which people are going through. They will need to understand the pain of a female not knowing where to get her next meal from. A female who cannot even take care of her parents, no matter the age that she has attained. We are Africans. And as Africans, it gets to a point in your life where your parents will be looking at you to start taking care of them. And if it gets to that point and you're not able to begin to take care of your mom or dad, and your mom just catches some headache and dies off, I'm telling you, the life itself will look ended for you, because it's the point of devastation that you will is one harsh devastation that your life will just come to a pause, and you will begin to wonder, are you really living? So these things actually are the things that I know will push a female a little further into doing exactly the opposite of what she envisaged she was going to be doing for herself. Yes, so we need some girls to at least pour out their hearts and say, you know what, I've been a prostitute for X number of years. You can tie your face, you can cover up your face if you don't want people to really identify that. You can really even tell an online person. You can use a voice note, you can share it so that we can express this even in this challenge. Let people understand the pain a girl child goes through to be able to sleep with somebody that she doesn't know. Man, sex is a big deal for me. I cannot. I just cannot, I would need to know you for at least a couple of times before digging deep with you. But seeing a female being very comfortable, getting a phone call and moving straight to the person who called her at her expense just to get something to eat, her next meal, and then she will decide how much she would want to get from that person, not minding the harassment, not minding the ridicule, not minding the molestation. Some of the time the girls go for these deals and they never get paid. Other times they get paid and they are given fake monies. Some other time they are even paid and they are so molested that they cannot even sit down after a session. Some are tied hand, legs wide open, and these guys make their way in and out of the girls as they deem fit because they paid for it. Something that ordinarily no girl will tolerate that nonsense. But you would see a lot of girls tolerating it because they need to get these monies from the guys. They need to get these monies to buy some nasty things. They need to get these monies to pay their rents. They need to get these monies to help the family, especially for the first daughters. They need to get this money to help their younger brothers, younger sisters, to train their young ones. I feel so pained in my spirit talking about this, but it's something that is challenging. And people are seeing it like it's a normal thing. No, it's not a normal thing. Yes, the Bible have said it's there, it's been there, and will always be there. But one thing is accepting this defeat and taking full responsibility of trying to become a prostitute at will, by will. Another thing is entering this venture due to the frustration that surrounds the girl child. Not knowing where to begin from, not knowing what to do with her life, not knowing the pieces she needs to pick up, having gotten heartbroken from a relationship, her ex-boyfriend who has dumped her halfway, and the person who has been taking care of her and suddenly disengages from taking care of her, and she hardly knows where to even start from. Then she begins to think, whom do I even begin with? How do I start? What do I do? All these small challenges is what actually leads and lures one into that. But some will say there is absolutely no excuse whatsoever for a girl to be a street whore. So, but if you think that there is absolutely no reason for a girl to be a whore, we need to know. This street challenge should call that out. Let's stop dabbling into various small things that we know this country will be able to fix if they truly want to fix it. This one I am talking about now is a self-decided intent. Is something that needs to be fixed by fierce enforcement, especially by government enabling the girl child to properly identify herself, identify whom she is, identify her potentials, identify why she doesn't need to sell her body to anybody to be able to make ends meet. Identify the God-given talent in her, whether hidden or seen, that she can actually use to express herself and catch her surrounding and be the best that she can be. A lot of frustration have lured some of these girls into the movie industries. And you see them in the movie industries in 1, 2, 3 years. They become big, they drive the biggest cars, and then they do glorified prostitution. Some of the bankers also have forced girls into prostitution because they would give them targets that is so hard to even come by, that is so hard for any living being to acquire such customer. But you would see a full-fledged female working professionally in a bank and will have to lay every man that she needs to convince to be able to bring out money to support her venture so that she can remain in the bank. And nobody is saying anything about this. These are the kind of challenges that I want females to come out and talk about. How do you find yourself sleeping with every man as a potential customer? How do you feel coming to various hotels, meeting various guys, low lives that ordinarily you cannot kiss on a normal day? Ordinarily, you cannot have sex with this kind of guys on a normal day. But because you want to keep your job and you want to maintain your standards in the bank and soar so high and get promoted and get noticed by your bank manager, you would be secluded and sleep with every Dick, Tom, and Harry that comes by, whether he's clean or not, whether he is worthy of you or not, whether he is your spec or not. No way. So girls who have seen prostitution in any cadre, in any style, in any kind of profession that they found themselves, I'm saying this with utmost sincerity. We need to hear girls talk. We need to know the reason they began. We need to know why they did it. We need to know their hurdles half the time. We need to know how they overcame. We need to know what they fell back to when they really overcame this particular thing. And then we need to know how they are able to even say to their younger ones, don't toe this line. This line isn't a good way. Please, I tried this and it failed me. Please, look very well before you leap. So we need to hear girls talk. Really, like I said, I'm not making this video because I'm a saint. Like I said, I'm a motherfucking girl. I'm a bitch. Goddamn bitch. I'm not a prostitute, but I can actually give you what you want. But I'm saying that I would have sex with whom I want, whom I choose. It's not about the Benjamins. With whom I want. If you know rich, you know rich. That's me. The reason is, I'm from a poor home. And my mom strived a lot to send me to the best schools in Jos. And she made me understand I was so beautiful. And I grew up with that notion that I was so beautiful. So I was so picky and choosy. So if you see my spec, you would know. If you see my kind of man, you would know. If you're dating me and you know you're dating me, if you hear I slept with someone, you will be scared because the person may probably be better. So that's what it is for me. I didn't see prostitution as something that I needed to venture into to be able to eat. I saw hard work as my alternate. So girls who saw prostitution as their alternate should tell us why it became their alternate. Like I said, money is gained from these ventures. What did you ever use them for? Were they really nice spending? Were they really worthwhile? Was the venture really worth it? Was it a moment of reflection for you? Are you out of it? Was it easy to be out? What were the challenges of even coming out of it? This will help the young generations. The Gen Zs no even care. Seriously, when you go to strippers club, you will understand basically what I am talking about. Sometimes the girls are really home girls, but because they need to make money, they've turned into strippers. And you would see everything clear. You will see that this girl has no dot on her body, but she's turned into a stripper because she needs to make money and she needs to take care of her basic needs and her family needs. So at what point will a stripper now come out and say, I'm retired from stripping? Some get good husbands from the street, like I said, others don't. And then if you are known, the stigma it comes with, were you able to overcome it? We know some girls who are natural, known whores, prostitutes, professionally. They don't care how you think. They don't care what you think about them. They are doing their venture and they are okay with it. So the government needs to know to what point they failed to attract the girl child to discovering herself. That's the reason for this video. The video is not for mockery. The video is not for cajoling. The video is not for exoneration. The video is for all the girl child. The video is not for ridicule. This video is not for any laughter or gesticulation. This video is a genuine thought from a genuine heart for the government to call themselves to order, to put and attach very great importance on the girl child. A lot of girls have faced subsequent rapes as young children. The government hardly does anything about those guys. In fact, sometimes they send them to prison and they don't even last long and they dash out. What are the government going to do to help the girl discover herself, to know that prostitution is not the real thing? To know that, no, there is life, a better life, not even being a whore on the street. What is the government doing to help people harness themselves, especially the females? So, now the guys are even not helping matters, because even those who are home girls, I saw a video of a girl who is in the car of a guy just some few days ago, and the guy opted to sleep with her. She agreed, but obviously you will understand that that girl was just a girl in need. She's not a whore, because she doesn't even know the price she would place on herself. And you know what? She knows she is premium. She doesn't know what price she would place on herself. She suggested 25,000 naira, and she knows she was worth more than 25,000 naira. Even the guy knows, no, this girl is worth more than 25,000 naira. But it's a shame that the guy took advantage of that discussion, videoed her and didn't cover her face, and then sent it online. I don't know, for some reference sakes, I don't know for some reason why he did that. But that was so wrong, because looking at that girl, you would understand that she's just a copper, and she needed to be cool with some basic needs. And because, like I said, the government is not helping matters, or maybe she's a student, just a student, she needed to collect some money from some guy. And now it's not even her legit guy, her legit boyfriend. It had to be a random guy that she just met on the street, who is opting to just lay her and give her some money. And she accepted, but she was so finding it difficult to even place premium on herself, even when she knows she is premium. At what level does a whore need to know that she's premium? At what level? It's a music in Igbo land. It's an Igbo adage as well. That girl did not even know she is premium, sexy and sweet, and she didn't even know what amount she would place on her pussy to be able to satisfy that guy and be able to get that money that she really wanted from that guy. That's as a result of bad government. If that girl knew how important her two legs were to her, and how not necessary she needs to open it to a stranger who took advantage of her and was covering her, videoing her, she wouldn't have even made that mistake of even discussing such thing with a stupid motherfucker who took advantage of her. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Anybody who classifies that girl as a whore is making a big mistake, because she's not. So that's what we're saying. If the country was so good, street hawking by females will not be a good lucrative business. But now a guy is saying hello to a girl, the next thing she's hungry, the next thing they're hanging out, the next thing he's giving her some small gifts, and the next thing she's in his house, and the next thing he's laying her. It's even better that you're discussing boyfriend-girlfriend relationship instead of going to lay this guy because you're expecting something in return. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So the prostitution have gone overboard that people no longer stand on the streets to say I'm a whore. It's now glorified prostitution where people need to be in their homes and get calls and get messages from WhatsApp, from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all the rest of the apps. And then they proceed to one guy that they hardly know and go and straff the guy, collect the money. Sometimes they collect the girls. We've seen videos of girls being tied in hotels and almost killed. They narrowly escaped. So such kind of girl are the kind of people I am expecting to hear these rants from, so that she will probably tell her stories to the government and say, you know what, this happened because I couldn't afford this as a basic need of me or my family. This happened because this happened and this had to happen. So some Yahoo guys have taken advantage of the street whore girls and killed a lot of girls, just taking advantage of. The other year, some 3 years ago, a girl was dropped in New Haven in Enugu, that's where I live, and on dropping from the vehicle, they were running mad. 2 girls, they were running mad. That's as a result of street whore. When you see a girl who has accepted the defeat of selling herself, no matter the amount. I have a problem with no matter the amount. I have a serious problem with that. I see that as hunger. I see that seriously as hunger. Some are not even hungry. Some are daughters of big men. I am telling you the truth. Some are serious daughters of big men. But what lures them into those street hawking is something I cannot even fathom. Selling bodies, using what they have to get what they want, is something I cannot really understand. So we need to get various angles. Is it because they are so tied in their homes that they can hardly breathe? Is it the reason for going to school and seeing nobody is watching anymore, and then they begin to explore, and go haywire? Before you know it, the big man's daughter has turned into a serious prostitute that you can call and have sex with at will. Poverty of the mind, that's the word. Yes, poverty of the mind, Kolia, I accept. I agree to that. When you accept this defeat, that you're nobody except a man helps you. You can't help yourself except you find succor in a man. You cannot even know what to do with yourself except a man is there to shoulder you. I think that's the beginning of this stupid mentality of prostitution. So the government also needs to know their quota that they need to play to make the girl child trustworthy and know and believe in herself, that she's growing to becoming a woman, and that as much as a lot is expected of her, she does not even need to go and sleep with any idiot to be able to cater for herself or her immediate family. So guys, help me share this message. I don't know how far it will get, but if it gets so far, I'll really appreciate it. Anybody who wants to talk about this can just call me up, can just write me on my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp is connected to my Facebook. Just chip in. If you don't want to share your name or show your face, I'm okay with that. But the government needs to know that some females who are whores are not finding it funny anymore. Yes, some females who are whores are not finding it funny anymore. Some want to stop, but they do not even know where to fall back to when they stop. The girl child is priceless. She's a princess. She ought to be treated like one. I'm a princess. My man treats me like one. Any boyfriend around me treats me like a queen because I treat my man like a king. So that's what it is. Guys, enable the girl child to discover herself. It's not by glorified prostitution. Various parastatals who have females sleeping around with various guys just to make sure that the organization is standing well should please desist from it. Desist from it. Please, desist from it. You need to let the girl child understand and believe in her potentials of being able to stand before a governor or a president and tell him the reason he needs to bank with her, and not by pacifying him to go into bed with her before he will put in some money, his money, not even her money, put in some money for her to be able to go from one step to another. Please. So let women understand this, and let women key into this rant challenge to let the government know that enough is enough for people who are not born prostitutes to just in turn be prostitutes for no just cause because the country is so hard and things are not working right and they cannot help themselves. Some who have lost their parents at a very tender young age are molested by their uncles in various places, and because they don't want to be continually molested by their uncles, they left their homes and moved into the streets and prefer to go hustle in the streets instead of being their uncle's puppet on his bed. So a lot needs to be changed. The government needs to come in. I rest my case on this particular rendition. My name is Ozioma Ejiofor. Help me share this message. Help me follow the page. Help me please broadcast. It will be nice. Please. No woman should be abused. Women too, do not abuse yourself. Men, please respect the woman that comes your way. Whether you want a serious relationship or not, sometimes some women just need to be pacified. You can straff them because they want to be straffed. No problem. That's not what I'm talking about. You can have fun. But I'm saying, do not continually see every woman as one that you can sleep with and give money. If you want to give her money, begin the giving of money early enough so that the day you're straffing her, you can decide to give her money or not, and not having it behind your head that you're just chasing this girl because you want to just straff her and give her money. So it has to stop. It's an insult. I see it as an insult. You've not done anything for me and you want to straff me and then give me money on the day of the straffing. That's an insult. No, invest in the girl child. Be her friend. Bring her close. Buy her treasure. She will be loyal to your government. She will love you. And you'll have a good sale, whether or whether-not. My name is Ozie Ejiofor. Have a beautiful night rest, guys. Help me share this message. Peace out.